or leave them be, but at least you'll be able to find them quickly. This is especially helpful if you run a trial balance and find that it differs from the finalized printed trial balance for that period. This is because a user has entered, edited, or deleted a transaction that was dated either on or before the last date of the trail. Therefore, we would strongly recommend that you set a closing date and password to lock down everything each time you do a review of the client's books. By having a password, QuickBooks will track this and add it to this report. As long as the user does not know the password, they cannot change or delete previously reconciled transactions. If they do not know the password, the closing date exception report will display them for you. Now, this is especially beneficial when it comes to our next report, which is called Reconciliation Discrepancy Report. To access this, once again, I'd go into Reports, I'd select Banking, and then I'd select Reconciliation Discrepancy. I'd select the account and click on OK. Now, what this report will show you is any changes or deletions to reconcile transactions so that you can change them back to its original state. You may also be interested to know that you can also view voided or deleted transactions reports by clicking on Reports, selecting Accountant and Taxes, and you'll then see we have Voided Deleted Transaction Summary or Voided Deleted Transactions Detailed. This will provide valuable information in addition to the audit trail report. I'm now going to come out of this company and go back to my original company, which was My Construction Company. You may also be interested in the reporting information and breakdowns on the invoice screen. So, for example, if I go into Invoices, I'm going to select a previous invoice, and you'll see here that I can select Journal. What will then happen is it will show the ledgers that were affected behind the scenes. Additionally, pressing Ctrl and Y when on any input screen, for example, invoice or bill, will bring up the journal entry behind the scenes as well. You can also email reports as a PDF or Excel spreadsheet. Any report can be emailed as an attachment, either in an Excel or a PDF format. You would access this by selecting Report. So for today, let's have a look at the Adjusted Trial Balance Report. This is located in Reports, Accountants and Taxes, and then select Adjusted Trial Balance. Now, as you can see on here, we have a number of email buttons. So what I can do here is I can send this over as an email, as an attachment, either in Excel or PDF format. You would access this by pressing the Excel button here. This can be very useful, as some clients may want to save reports on their computer or networks as a PDF rather than printing it. And once again, I'd select Send Report as Excel or Send Report as PDF. Let's now have a look at Excel integration. Any report can be exported to Excel. This can be very useful for performing extra formatting and calculations that cannot be done in QuickBooks Premier 2012. What's also great is that QuickBooks Premier 2012 will remember the Excel file and will update it at the click of a button. So let's have a look at that process. As you can see, I have the Excel button here. I can then create a new workbook or update an existing worksheet. I'm going to click on Create New Worksheet. It will then bring up a wizard for me. I can then select that I want to create my new worksheet in a new workbook. I would then select Export. What will then happen is it will then open up Excel, and I'll be able to then enter and see this report in Excel. Now, what I can do here is I can save it and I can view it. However, mentioned previously, I can carry on updating the Excel spreadsheet either by selecting Update Existing Workbook, or in Excel, I can select the icon which says QuickBooks and then press Update Report. Most importantly, the formatting changes I make to the Excel workbook stay, and I can simply refresh the data in the workbook each month. I don't have to redo any formatting each time. This can all be saved for me, and therefore this is going to save you hours of work in the case of custom reports that I may have to do for management or boards of directors. Let's now go back to our main screen on the home page of QuickBooks. Moving on in the webinar, and we now come to a function called the Financial Statement Designer. This is a great tool if you want to produce professionally formatted statements and documents. To access this tool, I would select Accountant and then select Financial Statement Designer. Previously, as accountants, we would have to configure reports in Excel, mainly because our clients would perhaps want to see the data differently to how QuickBooks would provide the information. Or perhaps we have a preferred look and feel for reports that our firm produces. This would mean that we would have to configure these reports on an often weekly or monthly basis, which would take a considerable amount of time each month. Therefore, QuickBooks Premier 2012 comes with a feature called Financial Statement Designer. What this feature allows you to do is look at many preset templates, but most importantly, create your own. Let me show you how this would work. I'm going to double-click on one of the reports here. What will then happen is an Excel-like window opens with the data populated for the chosen template. This has been taken from the company file. It is in Excel, but it acts like Excel. Let me now show you how to add in rows. I would simply go to Insert, and I can then choose the option for rows or in columns that I want to insert. I can also click and rename these certain rows or columns if required. I can also go to the Insert option as well, and I can add in client information and accountant information. Therefore, I can even look at putting in my own cover letter, and most importantly, I can even change the font as well. As you can see, this is a very easy process to master. However, we have included a large section in your user guide to support you with this process. I'm now going to come out of Financial Statement Designer and go back to the main page. Let's now have a look at our next section, which is looking at creating an accountant's copy. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use one of my other companies to demonstrate this for you. I've now opened up my restaurant company. Now, there will be a time when clients need to provide accountants with a copy of their company data. Intuit has invested very heavily in the accountant's copy. It is used to be when you could only amend journal entries. However, in today's accountant's copy, you can do nearly everything, including merging accounts, adding customers, etc. Payroll is the only exception. So to access the accountant's copy, we would do the following. We would select File.